Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Shameless Freedom Podcast. And over the last 10 weeks, we have dove into the top 10 religious beliefs that hold us back from our sexual freedom. And today, I want to talk about a different topic that I was inspired to discuss from a podcast episode that I participated in just last week. And I was asked the question, what is the most courageous decision that you have made? Now, when you are not prepared to answer this question, you don't have time to have your brain think about it. How many of us, if we would have had that question asked to us, would sit down and think, what is the answer to that question? When we think about it. And then you come up with a variety of different answers. It's like, well, should it really be this one? Should it be that one? I couldn't do that because we were live on a podcast. So I needed to go with the first thing that came to me. And when Kristen, Michelle, and I were having this conversation about the most courageous decision you've made, clearly she has a podcast called Courageous Destiny. So it's fitting for her to ask that question. And the answer that I gave was the time in the day when I said yes to myself and I stopped betraying me. Now, let me back up for a moment and explain a little bit more about that decision. You see, I was in an unhappy, unfulfilling marriage at the time. I had been married for 20 years and was working on me, working on my marriage. And as many of my friends would say, trying to save a dead horse. You all know how that works, right? You can't bring something back from the dead unless it's absolutely a miracle and it's meant to happen. And for me, this wasn't about betraying my husband or betraying my marriage. This was a choice. And was I going to betray myself? And the courageous decision that I made was to honor myself, to honor my desires, my feelings, and to not betray myself in fear of what other people would think. You see, if I shared all of the details of this instance in my life, other people may judge me. They may say it was shameful or sinful or a mortal sin or whatever you want to call it. And the truth of the matter is, so many more men and women have these experiences. And we are taught through society, culture, religion, that we're supposed to do a certain thing. We're supposed to follow a certain path, figure out what is wrong with the marriage. It only takes one person to create a shift. And yes, it does. This is very true. However, it also has to be in alignment. And you see, for years, I was not in alignment with me. I was hiding. I was betraying myself over and over again. I was lying to myself about what I really wanted, what I really desired. And it came up to a situation in my life where I had to make a decision. And let me tell you, it was not an easy one because there were these thoughts around, is this from God or the devil? Should I or shouldn't I? Right? How often do we have those experiences? And what I learned in the process was to shut my brain off and to allow myself to feel. And this was a journey, I don't know, about 8 months or so in my life. And it was this constant, like, opening this portal of, are you going to say yes to you? Are you going to feel the feelings, follow the feelings? So many times we are taught that the body is weak, that we should not focus on the flesh. And yes, there are times where people can go overboard, but I'm talking about when you are truly grounded, when you are in your body and you are feeling. There is a difference between feeling and honoring what your body is awakening in you and is telling you versus the thoughts that someone puts in your head around whether something is right or wrong, dirty or shameful. And the thing here is when you make a decision like this to stop betraying yourself, it didn't just happen one day. This was a culmination of being in alignment, being grounded, feeling what I was feeling, and being in a place of surrender and saying, God, please, please help me. What what is this in my life for? What am I meant to do? How am I meant to be? Like, I have these feelings and it feels wrong. And I don't want to do something that's shameful and wrong. This is when we have the greatest feat of courage to say yes. When almost everyone and anyone around you would say, no, don't do that. That's wrong. That's sinful. I want to open up more on this topic because I feel that so many relationships, so many men and women are suffering in silence. We have these feelings and we don't know what to do with them. We feel shame for experiencing them. We feel shame for wanting them. I want you to know that when you are grounded in your body and you are connected with spirit, you're having, what you are experiencing are soul's alignment. The soul's alignment doesn't always look and feel like we think it's going to. It can look so much different than what you expect. And what I want for you is to open up to the possibility. Where are you betraying yourself? Where are you not being honest with yourself? Are you waiting for someone else to change? Are you waiting for someone else to do something? To make courageous decisions in our life. And when you step out and you make a courageous decision, say yes to your heart and your soul, there's power in doing so. Even if other people disagree with what you're doing, because it really doesn't matter what they think. It really does not matter. What matters is you being in alignment with you and learning how to connect with your body, with your truth. And I want to open up the dialogue on this conversation because too many relationships feel this. And it feels like it is something that people want to talk about but don't want to talk about. There's shame around this, the feelings, the situation, the, oh my God, what are people going to think? And even if I share, what are people going to think even more? It was nobody's business, which is really not other people's business. However, I guarantee you there are a lot more women that are feeling this way than we realize. And I am not saying to everyone listening, go make a decision and cheat on someone. What I am saying is be open to seeing where you may be betraying yourself. You see, when I made this decision years ago, the question was asked to me. My youngest son was still younger at the time, not super little, but and I was asked, could you live like this for another 10 years? That question really hit my soul deep because so many women stay in unhappy relationships, unhealthy relationships for the children. We think it's for the children. I could not do that. I could not stay in an unhealthy relationship and try to pretend who I was. My children are so much happier now because of the courageous decisions that I have made in my life. Now, they don't know all of the decisions that I've made, but they know the energy, they know the power, they feel my presence. And I want women to make soulful decisions. I don't want to say educated. I mean, educated is important, but it's about being in alignment with your soul. Some of the best decisions I've made are those ones I didn't think about. Those ones where I felt, does it feel good or not? One of the greatest lessons I've learned on this journey is if it feels good, do it. If it doesn't feel good, don't. This is not the flesh being weak. This is about acting from alignment and saying yes when something feels good, and then saying no when something does not feel good. And how do you learn how to tap into that? Somewhat of it is intuition, and others is truly connecting with your body and trusting your body to know the answers. The truth is, if we dislike our bodies or have this, what I'll call the love-hate relationship with our bodies, it's sometimes hard to trust her. We think she doesn't know better. We think that she's just acting out of depletion, emptiness, whatever. And when you give her the space and you connect and you feel into the truth, that's when amazing things start to unfold. And I want to share more of this journey. Semi-publicly, semi-privately, I don't know exactly how it is going to unfold. But what I do know is this. Every time I share this story in a private setting, all of the women are touched and moved by the power of the story. And when I hear that and I share that, I know this needs to be shared more often. What that looks like, I don't know. Stay with me. Learn more. If you want to learn more about diving into your sensuality and stop betraying yourself, I invite you to join my Shameless Freedom Live experience that I'm hosting live here in September, where you will get the opportunity to learn how to feel safe in your own body, to listen and to feel, and to allow that sensuality, that sexuality, that touch, that connection to open up within you. See, the day that I made the courageous decision to say yes, to not betraying me and honoring me, I remember driving home and seeing an owl fly past my window. Now, it's late at night. I'm stopped at a stop sign or stoplight, and an owl flies straight across my windshield. And at first, I was taken back because how many of you see owls flying in the middle of Naperville at night? I mean, it's not normal. Here's what I'll tell you is this. This is one of the first things I created along my journey. And it's a process that I use. And you'll see there's a snowy little owl here that spirit animals speak to me all the time. And the owl was one of the first and is a totem for the work that I do. And I knew when that owl flew past my window that that courageous decision I made was in alignment, that I was not ashamed of my decision, that there was nothing to question, that it was beautifully, soulfully aligned. And the next day, I actually wrote a song about it, and it was called Wild and Free. And I want you to feel the power of this message of this song because it's powerful and it came from the depths of this aching to stop being the good Catholic girl and to open up to the wild freedom that was inside each and every one of us. So if you want to hear more of this song, I will be performing at my event so that you can hear and feel these words. And I want to share that with more people because I know when you connect with words, when you connect with the feeling, with the energy and the story behind it, so many women will say, God, I feel that. I was moved by that. I had tears in my eyes. I felt that too, but I don't want anybody to know. And this is a space where you can feel safe to open up to new possibilities for what it means to truly love who you are, to step into that honoring self. So put away the betrayment and to love who you are in mind, body, and spirit.